name is Christina and you're watching Proud Bookline. And today I'm going to do popular books I wasn't a fan of. I originally saw this video on Emma Book's channel and I'll link both her channel and video down below. And today I'm going to talk about 7 books that I consider popular that I just wasn't a fan of. So let's begin. First up, I have Ruby Red by Kirsten Gier. I'm not really sure if it's considered popular, but the hype has died down. But the Ruby Red trilogy was really popular a few years ago, and I read it when it came out. It actually came out in Swedish earlier than English because it's originally a German book, which is really cool. It's about time travel, and I just didn't enjoy it that much. I did like the main character, whose name is not Ruby, but Gwendolyn, or Gwen, but it didn't stick with me and I didn't think it was anything special about it. Next up is probably the book that I consider the most popular, and that's The Maze Runner by James Dashner, and I just really didn't enjoy this book. I read it in a day, which might sound surprising if I didn't enjoy the book, but it was for Booktubeathon and I really wanted to finish a book. So it might have been because I stressed through it, I'm not sure. But I just thought it was boring and nothing really happened. And when things happened kind of towards the end, they didn't explain shit and just left me more confused. So I was angry and confused throughout the whole book. Or rather, in the beginning I was bored and confused, and then in the end I was angry and confused, so I didn't pick up the second book. And I'm not planning on doing that either. So yeah, I'm sorry. If you love this book, you do you. I'm not hating on the books or on anybody's opinion. You love the books, you love the books, that's great. But I personally wasn't a fan of this book, or the 5 others that I'm going to mention. Next up, Heartless by Marissa Meyer. And I did not hate this book or dislike it. It just wasn't for me. I didn't get wrapped up in the story. I've never really loved Alice, to begin with, and not the Red Queen, especially not the Red Queen. So I guess that might be a reason why I didn't like it. I didn't like the romance, and I didn't really get the whole red, white queen thing. I did love the baking though, so yay. I'm sorry, I just wasn't the biggest fan of this book. If you loved it, you loved it. And that's great. Okay, this might be rule breaking, I don't know. But this is the Swedish copy of Chateau Me. And if I just translate, it would be called Touch Me, and here it says do not cross over. So do not touch me, I guess. Anyway, it's Chateau Me by Tara Mafi, and I read it a couple of years ago. I thought it was okay, and I'm not interested in picking up the rest. I'm sorry! I know that the novel is hating on me right now, but I just didn't consider any of the characters compelling. I wasn't really interested in learning more about anybody's story, and I felt that both Adam and Juliet and Warner were kind of boring, and yeah, this book just wasn't for me. If it was for you, then great. Next up, I have a book that I think people either hate, love, or are in between, and that's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I'm personally one of those in between, so I don't really think that this is weird to not be a big fan of, but it's a popular book that I wasn't a fan of because it felt like fan fiction. I read it in just a couple of hours, and I didn't get too annoyed with the fact that it was in a play format. However, I didn't really like the writing. It didn't feel as genuine as the books, and yeah. Also, Scorpius and Albus are supposed to be together, and if they are not, then no, Scorpius for life. Then I have All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, which is a contemporary that I know a lot of people love, but I personally thought they romanticized depression a lot. I felt that the relationship wasn't as genuine as I had hoped for, and I felt that things went way too smooth and too easy in the book. So yeah, it wasn't for me. And if it was for you, and if you felt like it was genuine to how you felt, then great. I'm not saying that this book is fake and that these feelings and thoughts are fake. I'm just saying that it felt fake to me. It doesn't mean that it was fake or is fake to you. Everybody has the right to their own opinion, and everybody's feeling, illness, and overall struggle is real and valid. I'm not trying to diminish any of that or say anything that says otherwise than that. However, this book just wasn't for me, and yeah, it's a popular book that I wasn't a fan of. And lastly, I have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, and this book was also just not for me. I know people either hate it or love it, but I'm just one of those in between again. I didn't hate it, I didn't love it. There were some things that I did not like at all, like the romance. I just personally do not seems like romance, and I guess that's true. I have a very hard time finding relationships and romances that I like, and this romance I did not enjoy at all, which isn't that surprising. But I just had a hard time figuring out the world and knowing the terms, and just it didn't compel me, and I wasn't like, oh, I want to continue reading this 7-book series, I think it's going to be. It was just like, I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to watch the Booksplosion live show and have a great discussion, and then I'm going to forget about it. Which is what has happened, because I don't remember like anything at all except that the main character's name was Paige. So yeah, those were 7 books that are, at least to me, considered popular that I wasn't a fan of. If you weren't a fan of any of these books that I mentioned, please tell me down below so we can discuss. Or if you're a fan of one of these books that I mentioned, tell me as well. And why not tell me a book that you consider popular that you aren't a fan of? Because I would love to know. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Your support literally means the world to me. Have a great day /night / whatever part it is for you guys. Bye!